Hey, we're back, and we're here with Jim and Bonnie and a couple of fine feathered friends.
Is it Sallee?
Sallee.
Sallee.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
French
thank you for being with
influence.
us today.
Yeah,
We're going to
you
talk
bet.
about breeding chickens, showing chickens, judging chickens, and then the Amador County Fair, and you're involved with all that, right?
Yes. Yeah. Go ahead and tell them about your
Yeah.
part.
How did you start breeding chickens? Is this a lifelong love affair?
It's been a long time,
Pretty much,
like
yeah.
I think 44 years maybe we've been
That-
doing this.
That is a love
Yeah.
affair with chickens.
Yeah.
And what are the pitfalls with breeding chickens? There's a lot of
Probably crowing in the morning. A lot of people don't like
The neighbors
early
kind of
morning. Yeah, the
get
neighbors, and
irritated.
A lot of cities have
Oh, he wants to
ordinances
talk.
now against crowing, and they limit you to females, and or at least limit the number of males you can have on the property.
I kind of live out in the country. I grew up on a big ranch, but anyway, now I have a neighbor right next to me, probably 100 feet away, and he keeps his chickens right there. I don't mind it at all.
Yeah.
I
It
like
makes- it
the
gets me up
crowing
in
in
the
the
morning.
morning. Yeah.
If I'm not
We do
awake, it
too.
gets me up. So
Yeah.
So let's you brought two in today. What breed are these?
This one's a modern game.
Modern
Is a
game.
breed.
It's so tiny.
Yeah, and the variety is blue-red.
He's beautiful.
is that a young one?
Red. He was hatched last spring.
Okay, so very young. So because
About a
Kentucky
year.
Fried Chicken wouldn't like him right now, right?
No, a little bit
They
small.
would never like him.
Richard said this is how they came up with the term chicken legs. They're just so skinny. And this one's what type of a breed?
This is a silver-laced Wyandotte bantam.
Beautiful. That's
pretty. They're both pretty chickens.
Every feather is laced with the black,
It's
and
gorgeous.
They're both
both
pretty
of these,
for a
yeah, they're
chicken.
pretty, and these are two pretty popular breeds. The kids like to use these for showmanship.
Uh-huh.
How many
And,
breeds are there, Jim?
82.
Wow.
We use 82 different breeds, and
And how many do you raise of those 82?
about 9.
That's a
Oh.
lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. We raise about 700 chicks a year,
Wow.
so which is quite a bit.
You,
And
you might want to turn so you don't give the camera that
Yeah.
backside view.
So we want to talk a little bit about this seminar coming up. It's at the Feed Barn, and it's this Thursday, May 16th at 5:30. What's the seminar all about? I mean, is it?
yeah, that's already tomorrow, huh, for
Mm-hmm.
us. And we're going to talk about mainly preparing birds for the fair.
Okay.
And people usually have a lot of questions about raising and incubating and brooding
Mm-hmm.
and that type of thing as well. Bonnie does a demonstration on actually washing the birds and clipping their toenails and filing their beak and drying them off and getting them all spiffy for
Do you
fairs.
blow dry
and
them?
We don't short
Oh,
feathered
okay.
birds.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes you can blow
Yeah.
dry.
Are these females?
This is a
one's a
female,
male.
that's a male. Which is called a cockerel. A young male is called a cockerel.
Yes, he's
So-
beautiful.
How old will they be when they actually, you have to watch the cocks around each other so they don't start fighting?
About 5 months,
Okay.
usually, and it varies with the breed. Some breeds get along forever,
Mm-hmm.
and others will start fighting, even at 2 or 3 months.
Really?
So, yeah. But generally, it's around 5 or 6 months when they hit their maturity.
Mm-hmm.
And
We had a lot of footage on there of the birds in their feeding environment, and it looks like a real healthy environment, very clean, and you keep your animals well, so.
Speaking.
yeah,
There's a lot.
yeah, you have to, and it shows in the long run. And we provide probably 200 4-H kids with birds for show and showmanship and breeding programs and so forth. So it's a lot of work, but we try to keep everything pretty
So
pretty clean and organized.
what do you recommend feeding them? What's the best thing to feed your birds?
Usually, the protein level is very important
Uh-huh.
in poultry feed,
Mm-hmm.
and that varies from around 15% up to 21-22%. And you change that during the year based on the growing pattern, the habits. They need protein to grow fast. And then when they're laying, you can slow that down. The most common feeds are around 16% protein, standard laying mashes and crumbles and so forth.
How many chickens do you hatch a year?
About 700.
Wow, that's a
Wow.
lot of
That's a
chickens.
bit.
And out of those 700, do they have a pretty good survival rate?
Yeah, pretty good survival rate. Quality-wise varies. A lot of birds just go for backyard use. Some of the breeds are very good to have in your garden, in the backyard, to clean up insects and scrape around and get larvae out of the soil and so forth. And then, of course, the top ones we sell for people to use for exhibition. And
Right.
we show too. We show birds all over the United States.
So when you're showing, what are you looking for as a judge? What would you be looking for in a bird?
It's mainly the type of the bird, and then you have the body type, and then secondary is the color. Like this, being a silver laced, you want every feather to have some lacing around it. And there's a lot of birds. These are called party colored birds. A lot of the better show birds actually are all one color, like white, black, and blue, and so forth. So it's harder to breed these multicolored birds because, see, for example, you have a little bit of peppering in the tail, and that counts 2 points off.
And
Oh.
Loss of feathers, though, count for
Loss of
points off?
feathers, right?
Okay.
Yeah, you need to have a nice finished condition for show. In fact, one broken feather, like this, for example, would cost you a couple of points in a show. So in a large class, it's going to have an effect on the placement, ultimately, of that bird.
Well, that seminar coming up again is May 16th at 5:30, and that's at the feed barn, is that correct?
The feed barn tomorrow evening, yeah.
And they can get to the link on the ranch on Foothill Critters, so they just need to go on TSPN on Foothill Critters and get to the link and see all about chickens, and it's fun.
We'll try to bring a few more birds, and we'll also be able to answer questions about growing and so forth. So.
You gonna do the chicken dance too?
Yeah.
And,
Bonnie does that.
okay, we have to go to a break. We'll be right back with our final segment.